you.
Let's talk about how to create a productive, distraction-free workspace. If anybody else is struggling with distractions, this is going to make a lot of sense. More times than not, we are the actual distraction. They are not external forces, and I'm going to prove it. So if your phone, I saw some of you on your phones during this session, which is fine. You do your thing. When you pick that phone up, was the conscious decision to be the distraction. But most of us say, well, Brandon, there was a call that came in. People are calling me, things are happening. My clients are texting me, emailing me. I got my husband knocking on the door. I got my kids banging the door down, so on and so forth. But we have a choice to respond or not to that external stimulus. The second we engage the external forces, we then become the distraction. So it isn't because the external forces are not responsible, nor do they care about what we're doing.
Right.
The title company doesn't know that you want to prospect for an hour every morning, and nor do they care. They're going to call you when they damn feel like calling you. It's up to us to not answer the call or to answer the call. So first and foremost, we have to look in the mirror and make peace with the fact that 9 times out of 10, unless it's an emergency, we were the actual distraction. So if we have that mindset and we drop any victim mentality and we take responsibility for that, we'll becoming distraction. The opposite of distraction is what? Focus.
Mm-hmm.
So now, so that's number one. Number two, watch this. Most of us want to be distracted. Why?
Because of the fear or being reluctant to pick up the phone and make those phone calls. And I know I'm conscious of that, but this is the thing, and it's like a mind game.
Yeah.
I keep looking for excuses as soon as I cross the door, or even in my own office. Oh, I spent 2 days organizing and cleaning up my desk, and I didn't do lead gen, didn't make a single phone call. So it's just, I give myself.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is that called? For the experienced agents, type it into the chat, please. It's called, let's see what they say. The survey says, creative avoidance. Matt Sousey, you won a new car. That is creative avoidance. We all have it. I have it right now. I'm focused on writing the new program for Listing Agent Academy for you guys. I mean, let me put something in perspective. Well, I don't want you to, I'm not saying this for you guys to, I'm only saying this to impress upon you, not to impress you. With all my companies that I'm running, this program, FSBO Domination, was about 400 pages of content. Listing Agent Academy is 1,000 pages of content to teach you guys everything I know about real estate. And every time I sit down to write, there's all kinds of stuff. I got to do this for Brookstone. I got to do this for FSBO Domination. I got to do this for this and that. And believe me, it is such a fight. And so now it goes back to a couple things. One, it sounds so simple, but what's easy to do is easy not to do. It goes back down to time blocking, real blocking, right? Meaning when we block time for this, that means we're not blocking time for the thing. What are we actually doing when we do that?
We'll do something else.
That's right. That means we say no to everything else. So we all had that twisted. You know, Kim, going back to you, the 30-minute of prospecting isn't 30 minutes of prospecting. It means 30 minutes of saying no to everything else. And so when we have that mindset, that's step number one. Step number two, the key, everyone listen closely. The key to riches, wealth, happiness, fitness, finance is accountability. Plain and simple. Because the way we were created, our biological makeup, and most of you should be doing research on this if you're not, we were built to run away from pain. and run towards pleasure. It is a biological, we can't do anything about it. It's a fact. So we can't do anything about it. The only hack that we can do is we have to have an external force there making sure that we're supposed to be doing what we're supposed to be doing. Otherwise, it's too likely, and it's probably in the 90 percentile, that humans left to our own devices when no one's looking is we will not do the work. We just plain and simple won't do it. But if we're being watched, if you show up for somebody else, the likelihood then gets increased. So the second recommendation I would make is find somebody, one of these 30 people on this call, and say, listen, I need a real accountability partner. Grab Joni, grab Jan, grab Jose, grab Ryan, and say, listen, and the accountability should match. So for Kim, you need to find an accountability who wants to prospect 30 minutes a day. How long do you want to prospect a day right now, Soraya?
This is embarrassing. Maybe an hour.
That's fine. Listen, we have to start somewhere. And so you need to grab somebody who is willing to go through the trenches with you, that's looking to prospect. Their goal is 60 minutes a day. And then you both can show up for each other. Grab a free Zoom account, and then you guys both jump on Zoom and you prospect together, and then have fun with it, because you're going to show up for Spencer. If Spencer's your accountability partner, you're going to show up for him more so than you're going to show up for yourself. It's a very, very weird, twisted reality that how humans behave. I don't know. I can't explain it to you.
But this is the thing, Brandon. I used to lead gen for 2-3 hours at the office when I was surrounded of other agents doing the same.
Yeah.
I used to call expires and terminated and all that. And suddenly it was just like, boom. And I can find again that rhythm.
And I'll tell you why, because you don't want to be, you don't want to look awkward inside the herd. That's why, because here's why. I promise all of you, if you guys go out to lunch with a bunch of fitness freaks and they all order chicken and salad, you're not getting a burger and a beer. Promise you, you ain't doing it. You go to a group of agents that all prospect, you're not going to sit there and twiddle your thumbs. We are herd creatures. So if you go back 10,000 years, that's where we get that from. We want to fit in. Well, the problem, that was the value of the office. That's why so many people say, I want you in the office. You want that. Now we're all at home because of COVID. So how do we replace that? That's what we're doing. All of you should be on accountability Zoom prospecting sessions every morning. So you get a nice little group. You build, I'm telling you, I have some of the best friends of my life through these groups. Ever. People that I call my brothers and my sisters, I met because we paid the price together. And through shared suffering, there was a bond that can never be broken. And so these little groups should be formed all over this group that we have here together. And you're going to build some great friendships, and you guys can lean on each other. And you guys should all have these mini little Zoom sessions that you're either letting people in or not letting people in. It should be your sacred thing. And to get into this little group, you got to prove yourself, So I recommend that all of you are spending the next couple of days having conversations with people in this group, interviewing each other. You really, really want to make sure that if you get into an accountability group, that the commitment level on both sides is there and that there's real accountability. The definition of accountability is the ability to be counted on. So there needs to be some realness there, that if you don't show up, Soraya, tomorrow morning, what happens? And there's got to be a price to pay.
Well, that's the thing. First, I don't earn to be in the group because I'm not doing the job.
Yeah.
And the pride, I don't know.
Well, you're always honest. And I love that about you, but go form a group that you lead. That's the other great thing about leadership. That's why I call it servant leadership. Through starting something, if you go and you go out there and say, okay, guys, I'm looking for 2 to 3 people to join a Zoom, and Soraya is the leader of it. You think you're going to show up tomorrow morning? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you now have committed verbally and you don't want to let the herd down. So sometimes we have to, sometimes you do have to put yourself forward, verbally commit yourself first, because with inside integrity, you don't want to let the other people down. So if you go on this group and you verbalize what you'd like to do and you don't do it, then nobody, not only will you not trust you, but now all these people can't trust you either.